Hello, hello. This is a video in English. I'm going to talk about, doing a video to welcome you in my community if you've joined me recently, or just say hi. And it's we go back after August and July. Maybe you had holidays, maybe you didn't. And we have a new and fresh start in September. And I thought, you might be following me for a while or not, but you probably want to know, who am I following? And that's what I'm going to answer in this video, to share you a bit about my vision of life, of course, specifically more dedicated to personal development, because that's my passion and expertise as well. And if I share all of this with you, I would be very happy to hear about you, because I'm doing these videos, I'm writing these emails, you might be a subscriber of my newsletter, but I would love to know, if I don't know yet, who you are, where you come from, where you're at in your life, what's the next stage, what are you working on, what inspires you. So that's kind of what I'm going to share myself. So maybe to start, the first point is who are you following? You are following a person who grew up over kind of 3 different cultures, which is the French one, the German one, and the Austrian one, and who has enriched her experience from different continents and countries, because I've been working and living also in the UK, in Australia, in the United States. So it's kind of, if I share this with you, is because I love to kind of get a sense on how things are evolving and growing in these different countries and continents around personal development, especially around my specialty, which is highly sensitive people and gifted and talented people, so atypical people. And that's kind of my second point. This is my expertise. If you're following me, there's a high chance that you are either highly sensitive or gifted, or maybe both. And this is my area of expertise. I want to specify what I do in these 2 areas, because I really have I think a different vision of it than some people might have. For me, these 2 different ways of functioning are not limiting you. It's more about, you need to learn and to understand how you function and what it means to be highly sensitive, what it means to be gifted, but to you specifically, not in general, because there are many ways to be highly sensitive, there are many ways to be gifted, and most of all is who you are. You are a person before, you have your story, your personality. And I really don't see it as a problem, or being a victim of your high sensitivity or of being gifted. Not at all. I think it's really about learning to transform it into a strength, and something that will kind of support you in what you want to create for your life. So that's really how I see it, and I highly suggest you, because I've been also through this path, and you might have been there too, and all the association you might do with being gifted means, then you complete the sentence, or being highly sensitive means, and you complete the sentence. Check what kind of association you are doing with this word, so that you are not limiting yourself. That's the red flag I would bring up. So it's all about learning how it works, and making it support you, and living it as something that enables you to be yourself. That's really my perspective on this topic, and it's important to say it, because I sometimes read or see other people sharing about it in a more negative or limiting way, and I'm all about freedom. I'm all about liberating yourself. So that's really not my perspective on this theme. And that brings me to the 3rd point, which is one of my key pillars, key values. This is how I go through my life. This is how I also coach. And this key word is freedom. Like, it's all, for me, it's all about deconstructing everything that might be holding you back. We are so conditioned, you know, through our education, through where we live, through our culture, and like it can become a problem, like once it's limiting you in your ability to create things for your life that you wish to see happening in your life. So freedom is so key, like being a much freer being, kind of returning also to the essence of who we are and our huge power, because one of my huge beliefs are that we are much more powerful than we think we are. As human beings, really, we are kind of conditioned to think that everything depends on external things, that we are determined in our life by external things. But this is wrong. Like, you have such a huge power inside of you. You need to learn how to connect better to it, and how to, like, so that you can kind of use it for yourself and to create the life you want, and really to create what you want in your life. So really this meaning of how powerful you are is huge to me. I don't see us as limited beings, not at all. And I love to experiment, read, get inspired about making things that we might think are impossible, make them possible. And that's not just an abstract concept about like what other people do in their life, or it's really about you creating something for your life that might have, you might have thought it's impossible. Or the idea is not to create the impossible in itself, it's to create if it's really something you want in your life. That makes sense. So I'm all about kind of looking at your life and wondering, like, is this what I want in my life? If I could choose, like, what would I have in my life? And really making this assessment and being there with yourself and with support if you wish, of course. Just checking, okay, is this what I want, and what do I want? Like looking towards the future. So these kind of three things are so important to me, like having this multicultural international approach, because I love getting inspired by other cultures. They show you how different we can live on this planet. I have an added value in supporting highly sensitive and gifted people who are wonderful beings, who, like, what I love is to also create group dynamics, so that, because I'm sure you are like someone who has so much richness and depth inside of you, is like, how can you bring that to others and inspire each other? And then all about freedom and connecting to your inner power. And again, this is not an abstract concept when I say that, and that's also very linked to creativity. I love in my approach to connect to like neurosciences, more like how your brain functions, because it's like we all have a brain, but most of us don't know how to use it, and that's incredible. Like that's not normal when you think about it. So getting to explain you how your brain works so that you can really use it properly. So that's all I talk about in my program, Transform Your Scenario to Fulfill Your Potential. Working also around your emotions, which are key to your quality of life, to your daily life, and to what you create in your future. And I'm also very much having an approach in terms of quantum physics. If that's like a word that is not familiar to you, I would say in a very simplistic way, it's all linked to manifestation, the law of attraction, but like it's not something esoteric anymore. Today we have science that backs it up. We know how this is kind of unfolding. We are much more than the matter you see. I don't know if you have this pen, like we are energetical beings. So in my approach of personal development, we also have this approach, because otherwise it's incomplete. And then getting this inspiration of creativity, like, you know, I love to see what artists are doing. Being myself also someone who is creating, knowing that you probably are also someone creative, because many of my clients either have their own artistical activities and practices. So that's kind of giving you a few insights in who are you actually following, where do I come from, where does my inspiration come from. And I would say like a kind of the cherry on the top of the cake, or something that is kind of the subtle things that are all around this I talked about, is spirituality. So what do I mean with spirituality? Is like how do you make sense of things? And this question of how are you making sense or giving meaning to things is so key, especially for atypical people who like it's a vital need to have meaning. And like life is not always easy. You might be going even through a huge challenge in your life at the moment. Like we all have these moments, and it comes and goes and comes and goes. And it's in these moments which are more difficult to develop the faith in, to give a meaning to a situation. So in order for you to grow, evolve, in a way that enables you to go towards something more, how can I say this, like evolve towards something that is better, where there is more light, where you feel greater. So that's kind of some keywords and some key explanation, and saying it in a way that might be a bit different than usual. Like it's not about marketing, not at all, where I would say like that's the kind of result you get and this and that. It's like, who am I following actually? Who is writing these texts or these messages that I'm reading? Who is doing this video? Like behind everything you receive from me, there is me, my own creativity, and to be there to inspire you to connect to that deeper self and to your dreams as well. Because I think many years ago I would have thought like creating a life I dream about, or creating an extraordinary life, I would have thought like, oh, what's this bullshit or something like this. But no, like now that every year I'm kind of moving through my dreams, making them possible, as moving through my fear, because there are a lot of emotions on the way to make it happen. And I really believe and ground all of this in our unlimitedness and unlimited ability to create something that we deeply wish for ourselves. Because like life, let's live life at the fullest. Like life goes so fast, can end tomorrow. So like for myself at least, my happiness, my joy is key, so I want to make it happen, and every day counts. What's your vision on this? Like I would be very happy to read about you, just getting a sense for who you are. And last but not least, if you have questions, if I can help you in some ways, just don't hesitate to answer back, you know. I'm always happy to hear about you and connect to you. So that's it for this fresh new start with September, and looking forward to hearing from you. Bye!